I'm Corey.
I'm Grayson.
I'm Casey.
I'm Bryce.
And we're doing the
First Amendment.
The First Amendment gives us our basic freedoms.
Such as the freedom of speech, press, religion, petition, and assembly.
And here's our examples.
Do you hear what Congressman McKee said?
Yeah, she's dumb for that.
She really is. She's stupid. I don't know why she said that.
Why you know?
Grayson, are they allowed to be talking about Congressman?
Why are y'all talking about her like that?
What, the Congressman McKee?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we're allowed to.
Yeah, we're allowed to.
Under the First Amendment, we have the freedom of speech, which means that we can talk about whatever we want, whenever we want, wherever we want.
Like even a congressman or like the president or teachers?
As long as we're not offending anybody around us or disturbing the peace, then we're fine to say whatever we want.
So y'all don't talk about Trump like that?
If we wanted to, yeah, we could theoretically. Yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
it's
didn't know you could actually do that.
what makes America one of the most unique countries.
And done.
What'd you just type?
It's actually something about the new congressman that was just elected. It's going to be on the front page of tomorrow's newspaper.
You're like that? The front of the newspaper?
I guess so. They asked me to do it, so I mean, I was on top of it like that.
Wow, what'd you write?
Here, you can read it if you'd like.
You're not allowed to do that.
Do what?
You can't write about him like that and then put it on the front of the newspaper.
Well, actually, the freedom of press actually gives me the right to circulate my opinion in print without the censorship of the government. So basically, as long as it's true, which it is because I fact checked it, which gives me the right to do that under the First Amendment.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, do you think it's pretty good?
I mean, I guess so, as long as it's factual.
Okay, sweet.
Okay. I'm here with Mr. Sullivan, who was one of our history teachers here at Northside High School. I have a couple questions for him about the First Amendment. Question 1, how do you feel about the First Amendment and how it has shaped America?
It is indispensable. It's made the United States a place that's unique in the history of the world and that you can say what you want. As long as you don't threaten to harm or to destroy property, it's covered. I think that we've come to the point where people who find any speech offensive feel it has to be banned or somehow regulated. That's not in the Constitution. The First Amendment applies to everyone, and it especially applies to speech that's inconvenient or maybe not all that popular. You can't pick and choose which speech is acceptable and what isn't. Again, as long as you don't threaten violence or try and start an insurrection, I think it should be covered and it should be protected. Again, that's what makes the United States a lot different than other countries, and thank goodness we have it, and I hope it's enforced and protected.
And do you think that there should be anything added or taken away from the First Amendment since our country has been changing since the Constitution was written?
Absolutely not. I think the first 10 amendments to the Constitution and the other 17 are just as relevant now as they were in 1791 and in the years since the amendments were added.
Dear Lord, amen.
Casey, I don't think you're allowed to be doing that in school, man.
Why not?
I just don't think it's allowed.
Praying?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, in the First Amendment, it gives me the freedom of religion, which means that I can pray or worship freely in public or private places as long as I'm doing it peacefully.
Like even in school?
Yeah, even in school, public places, churches.
You sure?
Yeah.
Really?
Under the First Amendment. As long as I'm being peacefully and I'm not disturbing the peace of others, it's allowed.
That's pretty cool.
Hey guys, what's up? Would you guys like to sign our petition to get school lunches back with unfrozen meat? We've called the school body if we decided that the school lunch needs to be changed. It doesn't taste very good, and we would just like to use our First Amendment right to use the freedom of petition to try to do something about it. So would you guys like to sign our petition?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Take down the lights.
They're too bright.
Take down the lights.
What are y'all doing?
Bright.
Take down the lights.
They're too bright.
What are y'all doing? Why are y'all on my property?
We're not
We're
actually.
not on your property.
We're in the street.
We're in the street, which
public
is public property.
And we do not like your lights. They
They're
are too bright.
I live in that house right across the street over yonder right there. Your lights are so bright that I cannot fall asleep at night. And it is very disturbing to me that I cannot fall asleep at night.
That's not my problem. I don't
What?
care if you can't fall asleep.
Well, that's okay, but we're going to assemble here and let you know that we don't appreciate it because under the First Amendment, we have the right of the freedom of assembly, which means that we can assemble in a public place as long as we do not harm anybody and we're doing it peacefully.
This line, private, public. We're in public.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Corey, did you write this?
Yeah, why?
You can't say that at school.
Ma'am, I believe under the First Amendment, I have the freedom of press and speech, so I think I can. Well, I just don't think it's illegal. Harming or offensive is. Oh, let me restart.
I have my right in the First Amendment for freedom of religion. I can pray wherever I want to pray.
I stand corrected. The First Amendment gives us our basic freedoms.
Such as the freedom of speech, press,